Welcome to the Inspection Empire Builder podcast. On today's episode, we're talking with a couple on their personal journey, personal story, starting from the ground, working up to a multi-inspector firm, and how IEB has actually thrown gasoline on their fire to have explosive growth just in the last few years. You do not want to miss this episode. Welcome to the show. I am so glad you guys tuned in today. Today we have an amazing guest. We have Jim and Linda with us. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great, man. Really how are you?
I'm doing really good, man. I'm doing really good. Yeah, I know you guys are located in Florida. Is that right?
Central Florida, just above Orlando.
Just above Orlando. How are you liking it out there?
We loved it. Moved here in 2015, and we're never going to leave.
I love that. That's really great. What prompted you to move to Florida?
We actually were married in St. Augustine, and as we were driving down from a blizzard from Ohio to get married, we said to each other, Jim said something to the effect of, I'm not going to want to leave. And I said, before I met you, I was headed south. And after our divorces or my divorce, I was headed south. And that weekend, we started looking at houses in St. Augustine. So on the weekend of our wedding. So
that's awesome. So you guys got married and said we're moving to warmer weather.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it was within a year, wasn't it? I think so.
Yes, our youngest daughter. Wow. We were waiting for our youngest daughter to graduate high school, and she found out she could graduate a year early. So she graduated a year early, and we headed right now.
Nice. Love it. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, especially if you're driving through the blizzards of Ohio. I mean, that sounds pretty brutal. Of course, I live in New Mexico, so I live in the desert. So, I don't have blizzards to deal with.
We had 2 years
lots of sunshine,
negative 40 degrees. So
that was enough.
Yeah, that would prompt me to move too. Yeah, that'd be enough. 2 years of negative 40. Yeah. I'm out. Yeah. I'm going somewhere warm. Yeah. I'm never going to see snow again.
Now we sit here and complain how hot it is.
Yes.
But we'll be all right.
Yeah. And now it's so hot and humid. And you're like, oh man, if I could just get some snow. That's great. So you moved to Florida and you decided to become a realtor first. Is that right?
Yeah, I thought it was the path, man. I was going to set the world on fire as a real estate agent. I'd been interested in real estate all my life, and hats off to those guys, man. I mean, it's tough. We did 100 deals or so, but it's tough business.
It is a tough business. I don't envy realtors. We work with them all the time, and it is a tough business.
Yeah.
But you started doing home inspections.
Yeah, I started the home. Well, the goal when I first moved down here was to start as a real estate agent and a home inspection business. But then I saw how difficult the real estate course was and all that, so I backed off the home inspection. But we revisited it. We wanted to get some side income. So I started the home inspection business. I was still working for a real estate brokerage, so I was feeding off of that office for the inspections. So I got lucky in that regard that I had instant inspections,
Nice.
And it just blossomed from there. Once you get your name out there and get a reputation. I mean, it took a while, but yeah, it was a big deal.
It does take a while to get the name and the reputation going. And it's funny. I started my inspection company as a side business as well. And I thought if I just do like 3 or 4 a week, I'd be totally happy. And
Linda, all the time, it's like, do you know if you did 3 a week, that pays all of our bills?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The goal was 5 a week because I was a full-time speech therapist. So I was pretty much carrying everything in between the lulls of, real estate at that time until the inspection business really took hold. And then the inspection business became an animal of its own. And that's when we started thinking, gee, maybe I should step back and help him out. So, and that's how I ended up leaving.
Yeah,
leaving speech therapy.
The moment was when we started doing 10 or 12 a week, and it was just me. And then it was like, well, now what?
Yeah, he was having trouble.
Right. Yeah. You start doing 10 or 12 a week by yourself and you're answering your own phones and everything. Mm-hmm. That gets pretty overwhelming. And that happens. Right. So I think every home inspector's dream when they're starting is like, oh, if I can just they've done the numbers like I did. If I do like 3 or 4 a week, like I'm solid. Like this is a great little side thing. It's a small little business and I'm not thinking of, right. It's just, it takes care of me and my family and whatever. And I had another little entrepreneur thing going. And then, so I had something else going already. And so I was like, I'll just do a few a week. It'd be fine. And then when it starts to take off, right. Like you experience, it gets to this place, like you got 6 a week, 8, all of a sudden you're doing 10, you're doing 12. And at some point, man, the business is like running you. You're not running the business.
Well, yeah, Linda's watching my stress level rise as all this is happening. And then she's like, I could quit my job and join you. And I'm like, you could do what?
Yeah, you were shocked.
So it was a big, I don't know, risk or chance or leap, to say, quit your job and come join me.
He was shocked that I was walking away from a master's degree and a decade-plus career in speech therapy. But I had worked for corporations and,
right.
I had worked for the man, my entire career. And corporation life is not fun. Owning your own business and having that control is very alluring. It's very difficult, but very alluring. So,
it's great to have your own business and your own, like you can control your own time. You can control all of your own conditions. I mean, but you lose the safety net of that stable paycheck too.
Yes. And that's why when we got to, all right, 5 a week, we'll pay the bills and then we can build from there. So. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's good. So then you start growing. All right. And so now you're growing, you're getting bigger. Things are going a little bit better. Now you're out, you've stepped out of your position. So now it's just the two of you, right? Just at this point. And Jim, how many are you doing at that point?
I mean, Florida doesn't slow down. I mean, as compared to some of the other areas, I mean, it stays, we're doing inspections Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas, you know what I mean? So Florida's a different puppy. So it was continually 10 a week, and then my son caught whiff of it. And, he just got his nursing degree and he just started working as a nurse, and he comes to me and says, I want to be your home inspector. And, it was I looked at him the same way I looked at Linda when she said she wanted to quit her job. I'm like, you want to what?
That's funny.
Well,
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Like your son's like, hey dad, like you're onto something here. I want to be part of it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. And it was, I was kind of fearful because, now you're responsible for other people, you know what I mean? And
dude, talk about that for a minute, man. The fear of bringing on your first employee.
Yeah.
What were the things you had to wrestle through on that fear side?
Your son, it's just like, well, what if things go bad? What if the market crashes? Because we all lived through the 2008 crash. What if things go south? And then I think that week, she could tell you, I'm like, call Taylor, tell him to make this happen. You know what I mean? Because we had him in limbo, and I'm like, get your license. Then he got it like literally within 30 days. And
wow.
The rest is history, as they say.
Well,
I think there's a lot of small business guys that get stuck there though. Like, I wrestled with it. I think they all wrestle with it where, okay, I've got enough for me and my family. This thing's going really, really good. And it's like, I have more than enough work for me and my family to take care of me. And you realized, well, am I gonna, like, we all have that moment of like, am I going to hire somebody or not? And if I hire somebody, the benefits are, well, now I'm making money off of my production and I'm making a little bit of money off of their production, and so then, you see the pros, when the cons are the weight that you carry as a business owner when you have employees. I don't know about you, but for me, like I carry that weight personally, and I look at my team and I see like, okay, I got to make sure I'm doing my part right, so that these guys and their spouses and their kids, they all were depending on on me doing my job the right way, and so there's a lot of pressure that comes along that when you start hiring people. And we don't talk enough about that sometimes of like, hey, it's okay that you feel some pressure and it's okay that you're afraid.
Do you ever wake up at 3 a.m. and you're staring at the ceiling thinking about this stuff? Yeah, all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially when you have an off week, then you start freaking out.
And Jim had felt so much pressure about it too that him and Taylor paired up for a very long time, longer than they should have. And we did not realize that until we attended our first IEB event when we went to RGT.
Well, I wouldn't call it a mistake. It was just kind of a reuniting with my son. We could ride together all day and talk, and how good is that? But the writing was on the wall that we had to separate,
and you came to realize that at the first RGT event.
Yeah.
We had some frank conversations.
I hung on
how to grow.
I hung on.
Grow the business.
But at the same time, it made him one hell of an inspector. How many inspectors get a year and a half ride along?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah. No, I bet he's a phenomenal inspector. And yeah, in that balance of speed and quality when you're bringing new people on is another conversation for sure. And so RGT is, for those who aren't familiar, so IEB is Inspection Empire Builder. That's the organization. One of the signature classes and things that we do is called RGT, and that's I think it's Rapid Growth Training.
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
Kind of an introduction.
Yeah, and it's an introduction to IEB, but what it is, it's an introduction to a mindset shift of what it takes to actually grow a business. As an inspector, frontline guy, turning the screwdriver, that guy has a certain mindset about his work. But if you're the business owner and you have employees, you have to change your mindset. You can't be thinking about just what tool you need to do. Right. You got to change it. Right. And so RGT is one of the pieces that is such a critical thing within IEB where, in fact, I don't even think you have to be a member of IEB to go to an RGT training. No. I think you can just go. So if you're on the fence thinking about IEB and you're like, I don't know if I want to do that commitment, just go to one event in your area, an RGT in your area. I guarantee you'll be sold, number one. But more importantly, it'll help you change your mindset and understand I got to be a business owner, not a business doer.
Yeah, I was intimidated, honestly. We kept getting the emails, and they'd show the pictures of an inspection company. It was probably Greg Bryan's with 30 employees out front. And it's like, whoa, that's not me. I don't want 30 employees, do I? You know what I mean? That sort of thing. So I didn't realize that it could be for a one-man show or a two-man show or a three-man show. And, reached a point with our volume, we were around that 275,000 mark, where it's like, okay, this is great. I'm supporting us, but I want more, you know what I mean? And the writing was on the wall 2 years in a row that I reached a point where I don't know how to grow this. I don't know where to go from here. And that's why we got an email. One was close. It was in Jacksonville, a couple hour drive. I drug her. I'm like, we're going. Mm-hmm. I don't care what happens. We're going. Right. So we went. And it was interesting.
Well, it was different because we both came away from it with two different takeaways, because I was doing mass emailing and I was doing a lot of Facebook word of mouth pages. In Florida, there's a lot of word of mouth pages where you can just put up like a picture ad. But in RGT, I had this like light bulb moment, because I would advertise, we'd get busy, I would stop because other things became priority, and then we would get slow, and then I would advertise and we'd get busy, and then it would drop because I stopped. And that was what I left RGT with was, okay, I'm going to do this consistently and I'm not going to stop. We get busy.
Yeah.
Stop. And our business took off. Now I can't say just 100% that was that. We also, and Jim came away with other things in terms of adding ancillary services. And so that brought the ticket price up as well. So there was all kinds of things that we left that one.
It took a while.
That one training.
It does. It takes a while.
So
yeah. So you left RGT going, okay, I'm not going to be intermittent with the marketing.
Right.
Right. I'm going to be consistent with the marketing. Right. And Jim walks away going like, there's some ancillary services we could add here to help like increase our average ticket. So I don't know if you even know this. What was your average ticket price before you joined IEB?
It was under $400.
It was $385.
Yeah.
$385.
About $385 a ticket was your average. Now where you at? This is what you said 2 or 3 years later now.
We're
Of being an IEB.
Yeah,
where
we're
you
at
at?
650 right now.
Yeah.
Which is
That's incredible. So you went from under $400 to $650 ticket average. And that's just from getting around other like-minded inspectors and through the IEB community. And you go, oh, I could do that. Oh, I could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was so hard-headed. I just wanted to stay in my lane. I wanted to do a home inspection. I didn't want to do anything else, and didn't understand, just didn't grasp what the ancillaries, could do, for the ticket prices. We're doing, if you look at our metrics on Spectora, we're not doing a ton more inspections. We're growing like wildfire, but we're not doing massively more inspections. You know what I mean?
We did the first year, and then now the second year, it's more the ticket price. So there is a huge jump between, let's see, we joined in 2023 and 2024. So there was like a huge jump in the amount of inspections, but then now it's ticket price that's bringing in the jump in the dollars coming in and the revenue. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So that's incredible. So once you start figuring that out too, because that's part of the equation for the home inspection is you want more inspections, but you want your average ticket price to go up. So I love that how, you're basically doing both things at the same time.
Well, if IEB did anything, it turned me into a numbers guy. I hated numbers. You know what I mean? Aaron Guyton, and we joined IEB, officially joined. We got the through line training, and after the MVVC battle, well, I don't even want to get into that, but after the MVVC battle, they hit you with the financials, and it literally froze us for about 4 months, if not longer.
It did.
To get through it, understand it. I'm like, we're not moving on.
Oh, interesting.
Until we get this, we're not moving on. And we finally got it.
Florida is also a different animal. So we had a hard time separating full inspections with 4 points and wind mitigations and just insurance inspections. So there's a different animal.
Right.
And so we had to figure out the balance on how to separate that and how to forecast that and plan for both.
And that's interesting because like different areas of the country have different things going on in the inspection industry. Yes. The 4 point is what, primarily like a hurricane types. If you have a hurricane zone, right? Is that kind of what that is?
Yeah, that's the wind mitigation.
Oh, sorry. The wind mitigation is the hurricane one. Sorry. Yeah.
That deals specifically with the roof. The 4 point is basically an insurance inspection that answers questions about the roof, the heating, the cooling, the plumbing, and the electrical. It's required on almost every house now, even new construction.
Yeah. It's in Florida. It is.
Florida. Yeah. Supposedly it's going to be hitting other states.
It's starting to creep into where I'm at. I'm in New Mexico. Yeah. And it's starting to creep. But we don't have hurricanes, so there's no wind mitigation inspections here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you reach IEB. IEB starts showing you, hey, you can get your average ticket price higher. And then in the middle of that, you're also going, oh man, I can change the marketing. And so you're getting the phone to ring more consistently. You're having your ticket prices go up. I mean, that's a big difference, just getting the right mindset, strategy, and tools to be able to implement that. That's huge.
It was huge. I mean, we plateaued at basically 275,000, and then we put our goals together for 2024, and we thought it would be a big deal to go from 275 to 350,000. So 350,000 was the goal. And we wound up doing $435,000. I mean,
wow, that's awesome.
In a year where we were hit with 2 or 3 hurricanes.
2 or 3, at least 2.
There was 2 hurricanes in 1 month, and I think another hurricane in another month. And so, but we still hit 4. Because up until what was it, end of August, we thought we were going to hit 450, and then we hit the hurricanes. Killed the end of the year. So we didn't hit the 450.
I'm still bitter, but we're happy.
Yes.
Yeah, but still you were able to push through kind of some growth barrier there, and you're able to add a couple of inspectors along the way. Is that right?
Well,
how many inspectors do you have now?
We have my son, and then we've got another inspector that's now fully trained and running on his own. But we had a hire before him that didn't last a year. made that hiring
That happens.
mistake, went through our, they say 36 hours of pain, but it was only 3 hours. I was so glad when we cut him loose and, moved forward with what we wanted, So.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. Hiring is tough, especially in I think for the home inspector position as well. It's a unique combination of skills and talents, and you got to have people skills, soft skills. Like communicate really, really well. You have to have an eye for detail, but you also got to be familiar with construction products and be okay with a hot, gross, dirty job. So typically, construction type environments, and the people skills, those two are not always together. It's hard to find someone who has all the right pieces together to be a home inspector.
Then you could worry about how do you pay them, and that was all part of the financials, that we had to grasp.
Yes.
All right. So
oh my gosh, yes.
Which of the three models are we going to do? Are we going to do hourly? Are we going to do commission? What are we going to do? Understand that. Trying to project what your goals are going to be. Well, what's your average ticket price? Well, I don't know. But now that you understand all that, it's so easy to project into the future to do a 2, a 3, a 5, and a 10-year projection. Now you understand the numbers, and how many inspectors would that take if I wanted that, $1.5 million mark. And exactly,
you build backwards.
The numbers will set you free once you get it figured out and understanding the guardrails, and
100%.
And somebody says, well, what's your service as a percentage of revenue? And I get this blank look on my face, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
you didn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So now we understand it wholly. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. The numbers will set you free, man.
Oh, they totally do, because it relieves anxiety and stress. And that's a piece that a lot of business owners carry. And there is a piece of it of like, if you don't have your numbers and you don't know, you're not confident, at least in your numbers and what the numbers are telling you, then it creates a place of anxiety and fear. Or at least it can contribute to that. So yeah, having that down. And plus, what the next steps are. Can you afford another inspector? Can you not afford another inspector? What are the things?
In full disclosure, we did hire Brandon as a private coach, and that was a big deal for us.
Absolutely, yeah. You need coaching, and I think everybody needs that, and it's
well, IEB is a whole lot about self-awareness, and that's great. You know what I mean? And we aware of a lot of things, but it's like, wait a minute, I'm too old for this. I need a specific answer. You know what I mean? So I think that's why we hired Brandon and
you wanted to fast track it.
Fast track, whatever you want to call it. It's just, it was awesome, to have his input, and he kept us from making mistakes. You know what I mean? We were this unicorn growth person that everybody wants. We tried it, we failed. And he's like, look, man, just hold up.
What you've been doing has been working.
And start doing retention activities with your VA. So we hired a VA and we started doing retention activities. And
what kind of retention activities do you guys do?
So our VA, she's in the Philippines. She's fantastic. She will call the listing agents the day after the inspection and ask them, hey, just checking in. Did you hear from our inspector whenever they were done or completed with the inspection? Which, if the listing agent is not present, the inspector is to text the listing agent to say, hey, all done with the inspection. Everything went great. House is locked up.
Lights are off.
Lights are off. Yeah, exactly. And so she'll call and ask, did you receive that text? And, or if if the agent is there, she'll say, well, do you feel like the agent was respectful to the home? And just starting a friendly conversation and, leave it at that, short, sweet, and check out. And we've been able to convert a lot of listing agents over to using us based on just that phone call. So that's a retention activity she'll do. Also, every first agent that comes in with us or for their first inspection with us, within a week to 2 weeks, she'll be calling them and using what we call the feedback script. And she's just asking for feedback, based on the inspection. Again, short and sweet, but, showing them that we care and we're interested and we really do want to know. And is there any way we can improve? And then they automatically go into a CRM, and then with a follow-up every 3 months. So every 3 months there's a follow-up, whether it's a phone call or whether it's an email or a text, just touching base with that agent again, saying, hey, we're here. If you need anything, we'd love to be able to help you out. And then if they do use us again, every 5th inspection, we kind of send them a little gift card. Every 10th inspection, another gift card. And then every 20th, a nice.
Well, we're sending out
nice
thank you cards to everybody.
Yes, and thank you cards every first inspection.
I thought it was silly, but man, we get a lot of great feedback from that.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So you send out thank you cards. You have a systemized follow-up process to make sure you're staying in touch with your existing brokers that are working with you. And then I like how you're proactively going after the listing side of it as well. Right. Even if you have a relationship with them, it's worth it, do what you're doing. I think that's a really great thing to do, because a lot of inspection companies don't do that kind of stuff.
They like to feel appreciated.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Yes. Everybody likes to feel appreciated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've never given up on the retention activities. We've really never spent a ton of money on marketing until this year. We're really going after it because AI scares us so much. It's either get on the train or get left behind is the way I'm looking at it. So.
Yeah. And that is where AI is headed. And that's a conversation that's happening all throughout IEB. And even on the podcast here, we've been talking about AI and the things that it's coming fast. And the AI is going to come faster than previous, technological advancements. The world is getting faster and faster. And yeah, what are you guys doing on AI? Have you guys found any cool things that you're using AI for right now?
Well, it hasn't started yet. We're in the process of a redesign with our website, and we will have a chat bot on the website. And the chat bot is to send automatic text messages and communication to the potential client after any interactions. So that's coming down the pike very soon.
Yeah, and the AI is going to analyze the Google,
all our Google
the
calls,
local service ads, and so you don't have to listen to the recording. So it'll save all that time. And
so it's going to tell us what we're doing right and what we're not doing so great. And in terms of our phone calls,
isolate the area.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
isolate the successful areas, where to spend more money.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah. It's gonna analyze the ad campaigns that we do have and where we're targeting. It's going to analyze the calls that are coming in, the location from the calls that are coming in, and what's working in what area, and where we can funnel more money to continue it working and growing in that specific area that the phone calls are working at. So
I'm old school.
I like that.
I didn't want nothing to do with it, but the more you read about it, and then the books that you read, like if you don't embrace it, you're going to be out of business within 5 years. And that kind of raises your eyebrows real quick.
100%. Yeah. Well, I mean, think if you were relying on Yellow Page ads right now, for your business, right? Like 20 years ago, Yellow Page ads were a thing and the internet was just becoming a thing. Well, I should take that back. I guess that was in the 90s. Now it was 30 years ago. People had dial-up internet, and the internet was kind of coming to fruition, and different, AOL was a thing, and Netscape, and then eventually Google, and Google has, weathered the test of time. But yeah, like you look back and you think if you're still doing things the way that before the internet and Google was really kind of a dominant force, you wouldn't have any business. You just Yellow Page ad isn't going to get you anywhere.
I'm sure a lot of companies out there that are listening are 95% agent driven, just like we are. And, our eggs are literally in one basket right now.
Right.
And we need to diversify that.
So
100%. Yeah.
Even since we started 2 years ago, even with the mass emailing, the game's changed. The game has changed with mass emailing. You are more likely to get flagged. You're more likely to get dumped into the spam folder, and people never even see you.
It never
lasts. You've got to roll with the punches in the industry and find the next, the next greatest thing that's going. You have to try it. Because if you don't, you're going to get left in the dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. My website's about 6 years old now, and maybe 5 years old, something like that. And I've always been told every 5 years you need to redo your website anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm having mine redone right now, all for AI, and optimizing everything for artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. And same thing with my Google listings and everything else. We're going through the whole platform right now. Like, okay, let's optimize everything for AI and let's start building that infrastructure. Because if you start building it now, over the next year or two, you're a year or two ahead of anybody else who's going to go, oh, well, I guess it's time to jump on the AI train. And lucky for us, I mean, I say it this way, lucky for us, the home inspection industry is not a tech forward friendly industry primarily. We are a home service based, we're a home service company that is sending people out to do things, right? And so those industries are a little bit slower for tech advancement in some ways versus a lot of technology startups and things like that. They're on the front end of this. And so the nice thing is that being part of IEB and being part of a community that's talking about this on the front end, I really believe the IEB community is going to be on the front end of the AI revolution within our industry.
Oh, I believe so wholeheartedly. I think a lot of people, that are listening, you always hear that statistic that most businesses fail within the first 5 years. And I think that's attributed to either they don't work hard enough or you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? I wasn't a marketing expert. I wasn't an accountant. I wasn't an engineer. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm just somebody that always wanted my own business, and here I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then, but the shocking thing is you never hear the second stat, which is then a huge percent of businesses fail between the 5th and 10th year. And I never knew that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of scary, and I would attribute that, after what I know now through IEB, I would attribute, if you made it the first 5 and failed in the 5th through the 10th, you didn't know how to grow. Because if anything I got out of IEB is if you're not growing, you're plateauing, and you're probably going to start going backwards.
100%. Yeah. And you got to learn how to push and grow and not stop growing. If you stop growing and not that, so I took a couple of years and just kind of held steady, not going to lie. This is 2025. We're recording this September 25. And 23 and 24, interest rates were up. The real estate market slowed down a little bit. I was just happy to have work for all my guys. And I thought, oh man, my whole team is busy. Everybody's got work. I'm just happy with that. But now I'm back into a growth mindset again of okay, it's time to grow. Yeah. I think interest rates are about to come down. I think the economy is starting to turn a corner. I think we're going to have a good run again. But yeah, if you're not thinking about the future, not thinking about growth, you start going backwards pretty quick.
Well, when we joined IEB or the RGT event, even then, we didn't know there was $1 million inspection companies. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that existed. You know what I mean? Yeah. I truly didn't. I mean, how could you do $5 million with an inspection company? That was just couldn't grasp.
Right.
Couldn't.
And there's companies doing $5, $10, $15 million in a year with home inspections.
Yeah. And so it's just hard. What's our goal now? I don't know.
But what is so unique about IEB is those companies that are doing the $5, $10, and $15 million are willing to share with you why and how and what they're doing. And that is just phenomenal. And that's what's helped us, because you don't know as a single man shop or a 2-man shop where to go, or how to do this and what to do. And these bigger companies are sharing with us their journey and how they got there. And it really has tremendously helped us. You have to absorb it. You can't do it all at once. That's the one thing. You've got to, one bite at a time. But whatever you institute, you have to institute it and do it consistently. And that's what we've found.
Well, you can get intimidated when you join IEB. You think everybody's better than you. You think all the big boys have got it figured out. And I think it was Greg Bryan that said it best somewhere. He's like, look, we talk about it, we preach it, we tell you how to do this, but if you think we're all doing it the right way, you're out of your mind. You know what I mean?
Everybody's human.
Everybody's human.
You get to see the human side of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I imagine if you look at those larger companies, they have problems in their business just like you and I have problems in ours.
Right. Right.
And, their problem has an extra zero or
Right.
two behind
Exactly.
it. They got an extra 0 or 2 behind there in the problem. They're like, whoa, that's a lot. If I make them like I had to buy some new sewer scoping equipment, right? So, that's expensive. Like that equipment's expensive. So, I'm having to do it in chunks, right, along the way,
Yeah.
but ultimately it's a $60,000 expense for me to be buying new cameras as we're, refreshing the thing is, and it's a tool. You got to do it. Right. So for me, $60,000 is like, wow, that's a lot of money,
Well,
in the business, I don't want to drop all that at once. I'm going to space that out over a few months of time. And, and I think maybe those bigger companies, they have a $600,000 problem they got to deal with.
Right.
I mean, we're adding Sewer Scope as our next ancillary service right now. So, and I haven't bought the equipment yet. And you're like, man, I don't want to spend 12 grand on 3 cameras, and just took the $500 course. And now I got to get the other guys through it. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. Let's look at the numbers. You know what I mean?
Look at the numbers. That's right.
What's it do to our ticket price?
What's it going to
and,
bring in?
And how's this going to change my 3-year, my 5-year, and my 10-year that I've already got printed out? You know what I mean? So that's exciting when you can start, figuring.
So you're doing $650 average ticket price, and you're not doing sewer scopes.
No,
correct.
Yeah, that's our next one. Yeah.
It's the next one.
Yeah.
And that's IEB. I mean, our pod is just breaking my back every time. They're like, what are you doing? Add the sewer scope. Not everybody has success with the pods, but we do. We've got a fantastic pod, and 3 of the 5 have sewer scope, and and they finally stayed on me. But then we implemented the EOS program, and we have the weekly meetings, and now I've got my rocks and my to-dos, and they're holding my feet to the fire. So now we're going to have sewer scopes real soon, within the next 60 days. So
I love that. And you just touched on that, but the level of accountability, like having accountability, because as a business owner, like I don't answer nobody.
Long.
You're right.
You can talk about it all day long, but until you do it, it means nothing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we can all talk, and being a business owner, like I'm the top. Like, no, I don't answer anybody. Like the buck stops here. And so if I add it, don't add it, do it, don't do it, like the only person I'm disappointing is me. But when you get into in a community like IEB, maybe even to a pod, you have people asking you, like holding you accountable, like, well, why haven't you done this? Like, what's stopping you? Do you not see how this is going to be a good thing for you? They're reminding you of all the good things, but they hold your feet to the fire, and it forces you to do the things that you should be doing, because you have encouragement from people who are maybe a step or two ahead of you, going like, come on, buddy, like, you can do it.
Yeah.
And and I'm in the middle of that right now. I'm taking leaps of faith in my business right now, and it's because of the encouragement I'm receiving from IEB.
I don't think anyone in our pod was doing Google local service ads when we started, and we sucked it up. We're like the guinea pig for everything, man. So we did it first. And now everybody, every last one of them's got Google.
The pod is using
the Google local service ads.
So, yeah, that's awesome. I hear they're pretty outstanding. I actually have not used them yet.
Yeah.
Again, for now.
It's very
until they change it.
It depends on the
everything changes, right? It's always changing. Yeah. For sure.
In the area, because we've got one of our pod members is in a rural part of Kentucky, and he's paying $12 a call, where we're paying $40 a call. So it depends where you're at. Yeah, there's a big difference. So yeah,
that is competitive. I see that. Wow. Yeah. Well, it's really cool to see your journey and hear you guys how you started from the beginning. Now you've been growing throughout. IEB's been part of that journey. You keep adding services, more ancillaries, you're getting more inspections. What's your next? You've talked about like your goals as you move forward. What's your next mile marker that you're looking at in the business?
Well, the next mile marker is breaking 500,000. We, like I said, we jumped from 275,000 in 23 to 435,000 in 2024, and I'm like, so we were laying out the goals for the next year, for this year. And I'm like, could we really do it again? You know what I mean? We battled it, and with the numbers and it's like, again, the numbers will set you free. And it's like, well, okay, each guy can do 10 inspections a week comfortably. And you know, I was like,
where it was 600 at that point,
I'm like,
$600 price, per inspection. So
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
screw it. So we put 650 on paper, and we're year to date, we're only 18,000 behind that goal. So we only need
That's awesome.
a couple big months to pull it off.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
we're hearing the interest rates are dropping now. So.
well, yeah,
Right. If
Yeah.
interest rates drop, you
hold
better
your
hang on,
breath,
buddy.
hold your breath for Powell.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
and to me, I've witnessed it for a lot of years, you know, as well as I, you know, the points drop, you know, 1.5 drop is a big deal for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's a big deal from buying the house, and it affects more than real estate. It's a big deal across the economy. So it'd be a big deal, but especially in the real estate industry.
Yeah. So 650 is the next mile marker to answer your original question. And then man, looking for that $1 million mark, because I guess I hear through the community that not a lot of people hit that, you know, hit that number, and that's end of 27 is the goal.
Heck yeah, man. I love it. That's a great story. I love hearing what you guys are doing. If someone wants to reach out, maybe somebody has questions or they just want to just say hi. What's the best way for someone to reach out and connect with you guys?
You could do your email, Jim at fullcirclehomeinspectors.com. So
Okay.
it's
so Jim at fullcirclehomeinspectors.com. Are you guys on social media at all?
We're working on that.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. So first, fullcirclehomeinspections.com is your website.
Inspectors.
And then you
Yeah. Full Circle
what's that?
Inspectors. So
Inspectors.
yes.
Fullcirclehomeinspectors.com.
Yes.
Love it.
In hindsight, that would have been shorter. But
Yes.
Hey, too late.
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show today. This has been a wonderful conversation. Loved getting to hear your story, and hopefully it inspires others and motivates others to keep chasing the dream like you guys are.
Yeah.
So thanks for being here.
Hey, no problem, man. We're loving life. We love IEB. Glad we were able to talk with you today.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day.
Take care.
You too.